Hi, Life Church. So today I just wanted to share with you about, is Christ our truth? And so in John 14:6, it says, Jesus told him, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No one can come to me or come to the Father except through me. And so often we take the way, but we reject the truth. We look at our truth and adopt the cultural truth or family truth. We adopt the world's truth or the views or our opinions of that moment. But accepting Jesus is taking his truth and making it ours. In 2 Timothy 3:16, it says, all scripture is inspired by God, and he is useful to teach us what is true and to make us realize what is wrong in our lives. It corrects us when we are wrong and teaches us to do what is right. You know, we have opinions about life and everything. In a world that has opinions about everything, right? You can have opinions about what cheese is the best at this point. But how often can we trace those opinions back to the Word of God? You know, even just the 10 Commandments, which to most Christians should be the basics, right? How often are we seeing that and actually applying it to our lives? I think that so often as I see so many Christians, they're taking even just those basics for granted. And we see that the world does. They don't take murder as reality. They don't take adultery as reality. They don't take any of the things that are in the 10 Commandments and apply them as truth. And so often I think that we've gotten to a place to where the Word of God isn't our truth, but our opinions are our truth. And we're not forming our opinions based off of the Word of God. And I believe that we need to take what Christ is pouring into us and make that our reality and our truth. You know, so often I run into young people today and they talk about the issues with just like relationships. That's a huge one for young people anymore. And we talk about what does that look like biblically. And so often in this world, honestly, their idea and their concept of a relationship is adultery. You know, it's not being with someone, it's being covetous of someone else. And so we talk through a lot of that. And so often I hear the response of, well, that's what, you know, the world believes, or that's what the culture believes, or that's even what my family belief is that. And so often we adopt those things versus looking at what does the Word of God say. And I believe that if we took the moment and we actually paid attention to what the Word of God says for truth, and we started to apply that to our lives, it would save us so much heartache. It would save us from falling into sin, into death, into traps, into pain. And so often, even with these young people, you know, in their relationships, we've seen over time and time again to where they dive into that and they become that relationship adopts sin, and all of a sudden that relationship ends up breaking. And then in the midst of that, when the moment's over, we see them in heartbreak. And I think that a lot of them would avoid that heartbreak if they would just take the Word of God and the truth and stand on that. And that became their opinion and that became their actions. And when they would do that, that would set them apart from the world. And it would also lead them into those moments where they'd have joy and they'd have peace, and they wouldn't be in the brokenness of the world that we have today. So the reality is that we need to come back to, is Jesus the Word? And is he our truth? And is the Word of God our truth? And if he is, then we need to start applying that and start taking on his opinions, and not just the world's opinions or the cultural opinions or even family opinions, but what is God's opinion? So I just wanted to share that with you today. Thank you.